Okay, so as you've seen from my PowerPoint, first what I did was find the basic shapes of my objects. So the first thing I'm going to do as I'm drawing is put my basic shapes in very lightly, and I'm paying very careful attention to how far away they are in the original image. So in my picture, I can fit this shape 1.5 times between that shape. So if I'm making it the right size proportional to each other, this one is a little bit bigger than this, and the right distance, my overall finished drawing will be as accurate as possible. So I've got the head here, the shoulder of the flipper here, which I'm just putting as a rough circle, and then I'll just connect the shapes very lightly so I can see how it looks. Now, I'm refining my work as I go along, and I'm thinking that actually this circle is in the wrong place. So I'll just put it a little bit closer. And a little bit smaller. And I'm happy with that. So then I'll move on to my next basic shape, which is the flipper, which is kind of like a triangle. Okay, I'm assessing again. Not happy with that. Try again. There we go. And the second one, which is also like a smaller triangle on an angle. I'm looking in my picture, and this bottom of the flipper lines up with the bottom of this flipper. So actually, I need to make it a bit bigger and erase the rest. Okay? Now I see that it makes a curve up to the tail, which is almost like a triangle. And at the end, we have kind of like this shape. So those are the basic shapes of my seal. Then I can start going in and refining, adding the actual nose. His mouth is open. So I'll just lightly draw this for now, and I'll come back to that later when I'm happy with it. Connecting my shapes here. Connecting the shoulder to the flipper. Erasing my sketchy lines. Obviously the front of his body comes in. Don't need this anymore. And now that I'm looking at the flipper again, I can just refine. You see that little curve there at the top. Okay, the base of my tail, I see it actually, there's a muscle here, so I'll make this part bigger. Curving in. And the rest of the tail continuing. There's a little bump at the end. The other side of this muscle comes over here, so I'll add that. And last but not least, I just need to add the fine details on the tail. So I count 1, 2, 3. If there's 3 of these little nubs in between, I think what would be smartest to do is find the middle. Put one there. Draw one in between. Draw one in between on this side. Erase my little guideline. And I'm done. Then I can go in and start adding the fine details of the eye. And bonus, whoops, Celine, pay attention to your picture. Let's add the rock that he's standing on. Okay, so what we're doing is applying our understanding of basic shapes to more complex shapes today, right? We're going to start with a basic line drawing this lesson with as many details as we can add. I can't really see the details in the eye, so I'll go back to that later when I do my shading. And I just want to be happy with my drawing. So, how would I assess this? 1 star. Did I select the most appropriate image to copy? I think I did. I chose an image that was a little bit challenging, that was clear, that had a couple extra details, and that I knew that I could use my best shading skills on. 2 stars. Did I plan the proportions to produce an accurate copy? So remember how I looked at the distance between the head and the shoulder here of the flipper? How I looked at how the flippers line up next to each other. Actually looking at my image again and realizing the rock needs to be down here. Which leads me to 3 stars. Am I examining the fine details for as accurate of a drawing as possible? So now what I'm going to do is spend a few minutes just looking at the picture again and comparing it to my own work and just making sure that this is the best drawing I've ever done in my whole life, that all the details are in the right places, and that I'm being really critical. For example, I just noticed his whiskers go forward, not backwards on his face, to make sure that everything is lined up as per the original image. All right, so next lesson we'll do shading, but for now, I think we're done.